What's up? Today we're going to talk about why Canelo does not want to fight Jermall Charlo. You tune in to Fight Click. All right, so there's a big reason why Canelo is avoiding Charlo. I'm not necessarily saying it's all Canelo. I believe Canelo's team also understands some of what I'm about to say. You know, no fighter is really scared of another fighter, so let's not even talk about, oh, Canelo's scared of Jamaal Charlo. No, I don't think he's scared of Jamaal Charlo. But do I think that as far as a business decision, that is the best fight for Canelo? No. Historically, and really not even historically, but the only fight, I should say, that Canelo got his butt whooped was by Floyd Mayweather. And we can see how athletic Floyd Mayweather really is. I mean, you could look at his jump roping. You could look at, when he hits the speed bag. These things, if you watch him, I mean, he can do these things at circuses. I mean, he's highly athletically and physically intelligent at a high level, which is historically the truth with black people. Just to be honest, historically, the ability to dance and fall into rhythm and just have that athletic ability, that intangible ability to throw punches from weird angles and just, timing and things like that. Floyd Mayweather was a genius at it, and he gave Canelo major problems. Now, I'm not saying Jamaal Charlo is as athletic as Floyd, but he's very, 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 very athletic. Him and his younger brother, Jamaal, are extremely athletic. Okay, so if you ever watch their fights, if you watch the Julian Williams fight, you're going to see just the way that, just watch the Julian Williams fight where Charlo knocks out Julian Williams. I mean, you can see how he threw that punch at that angle, that like scooping uppercut. It was, you don't see people doing that, just regular people don't throw their punches like that. So Charlo is highly athletic. So the reason why I'm bringing that comparison up is because Canelo obviously has problems with people like that. Okay. The bigger issue with Jamaal is that he's a lot bigger than Floyd, and he packs a lot more power. I would say, honestly, Jamaal probably easily could walk around at 210. I mean, he's a big dude. He gets lean. I mean, he gets lean. Shoot, he's made 154. He can get down there, but I mean, for Canelo to fight that guy beyond the weight classes, that's a problem for Canelo. That's a huge problem. I think Jamaal's defense is highly underrated, and I think that, honestly, Jamaal has one of the best jabs in the game. I mean, I've seen him knock down 3 or 4 opponents with just a straight jab, like almost knock them out with a jab. You can research all that. You can see it. And we know that the jab really dictates the fight, and it's a great defensive mechanism. So Canelo would have a huge problem with Jamaal, and I think that his team knows that. I think that for the amount of money that he would receive for that fight and the amount of risk that he'd have to take, it just doesn't add up. Jamaal's not a household name. There's a lot of great boxers that don't become household names because they just don't know how to market themselves well. Jamaal's a little more quiet. He's like, if you look at Andre Ward's career, you would really wonder why wasn't this man given more recognition? He was, I'm not saying he's as good as Floyd, but he went out undefeated. He beat Kovalev, who was a weight class or a couple weight classes really bigger than Ward. He was talking about going to heavyweight to beat Joshua. I mean, and he probably could have did it because we saw the breakdown of the Andy Ruiz fight. I mean, but nobody's talking about Ward. Andre Ward didn't generate a whole lot of money, just the simple fact because he was a good, solid, logical, quiet dude, that he wasn't into creating controversy. And that's how Jamaal is. Jamaal's the same way. Jamaal's oftentimes, he has a twin brother, and his younger twin brother, I don't know, how, you know, I think he said what on the interview, he was younger by like a minute. I don't know. But basically, they're identical twins. But his younger brother is a live wire. I mean, he's a firecracker, man. You know, he wants to throw all his athleticism and weight around on anybody that he can, you know. But Jermall's oftentimes the one to kind of like calm him down or to, you know, talk him off the ledge. But Jermall's bigger, you know, and he's more, I wouldn't say he's a better boxer because they both have their abilities and they're both great boxers. But he's just more technically sound. I mean, he stayed with the same trainer. Jermall has switched many trainers. Jermall is stuck with his trainer. You know, that's just a testimony to his character. You know, Canelo's done the same thing. Floyd did the same thing. You know, you got to stick with your trainer. You know, that's one thing I see with the solid ones. But, you know, Jermall's a solid one, man. And I'm telling you, he's very athletic. He's a problem for anybody. You know, and he has punching power that can knock out anybody. But he's very technically sound, man, and he's very athletic, and that's the biggest thing. You know, he's athletic. You know, he's just very athletic. So I think that Canelo understands that situation. If he doesn't, his team does, and you know, that's why they're trying to insulate him from fighting somebody like Jermall. I don't think that's a fight they really want to take at this moment. You know, because that can definitely give Canelo an L, or, you know, if he gets knocked out, that's career ending. You know, it's devastating. And there is a high probability of him getting knocked out if he fights Jamaal Charlo. So, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Canelo. I think Canelo, you know, I know a lot of boxers give him a lot of credit. You know, I don't know as far as the motive of why a lot of them do that. I know that, you know, Gervonta has said that he's the pound for pound, you know, #1 fighter. A lot of people agree with that, you know, concept. And they, you know, talk about how sharp he is and all that. I remember seeing Canelo when he was just a kid, man, like 18 years old, first getting in the game, you know, and he always had that work ethic and that technical ability, you know. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I think that he's a great fighter, you know. He's sharp. He's definitely a professional. You've never seen or heard of Canelo getting into any bull crap outside of fighting. You know, you don't hear him in any scandals, anything like that. So the man is disciplined. You have to respect a man like that. You know, he's a warrior, man. He's a disciplined person, man. So obviously, you know, it wouldn't be just a walk over for Jamaal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jamaal Charlo's just not gonna run through this guy. But I think that the risk to reward ratio is just, the risk is too high. You know, I think the risk is too high. I think that it's just an intelligent move by the Canelo team to kind of like avoid this guy. You know, until they can build the fight, until Charlo can get like a little more, you know, recognition, which I don't think is going to happen because, like I said, his personality is not like that. So it would generally take probably Canelo to lose or something for him to fight Jermall. I just can't see that fight happening. I don't think it's going to happen, man. But, you know, definitely while Canelo's at the top, you know, I don't think he's going to take that fight. So that's pretty much why I think Canelo's avoiding him. Once again, I don't think Canelo's scared. I don't think that Canelo's a slouch. I'm not biased to any fighter. Any fighter getting in the ring and fighting is doing what we don't do. So how can we judge them? You know, come on, man. We couldn't even stand up to half these fighters, you know, just a regular slap or some stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm not disrespecting anybody, but I'm just looking at it from my perception. I think that if I was in Canelo's shoes, I would avoid that fight too. You know, just based on the amount of money that I'm going to get. You know, obviously, I don't think it'd be as much money as if he fought, you know, Pacquiao. I know he can't go down and fight Pacquiao, but, you know, if somehow he fought Pacquiao, or who can go up and fight Canelo? There's not a lot of competition. I mean, yeah, maybe another Triple G fight. I don't know, man. But, you know, I think that they're trying to build fights. So there's really not a big fight at this point, unless like Mayweather came back and challenged him or something. But, you know, I don't think they're taking that fight. So that's pretty much my take on it. Leave your comments below. If you like, submit a like. If you have anything that you want to add on to this, go ahead and put it in the comments. And I appreciate you guys, man.